Who really ended Barry's mother's life? In the Flash movie, we saw how Barry traveled back in time to rescue his mother. An event that completely changed reality, but it is never explained in the movie who really was the one who ended her life. In this video, we will be talking about the unseen villain, who we will possibly see in the next The Flash movie, The Reverse Flash. If you want to know everything about the Flash movie, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. As we all know, in the main plot of the movie, Barry decides to change the past to avoid his mother's death. Thanks to his incredible speed and the ability to manipulate time, he saves Nora from a fatal fate at the last minute, preventing her from forgetting the sauce can. This ensures that she is not alone at home that day, dodging her tragic fate. This gives way to the crisis in the multiverse. As Barry changed something in the past, it affected the past, present, and future, causing the butterfly effect to put the entire multiverse at risk. But this alteration of the past leaves us with one question: who was the original killer? The film leaves us in suspense and gives us a perfect scenario to speculate. When Barry heard the screams, he went downstairs to the kitchen and saw his father trying to take a knife from his mother. At no point did we see the person who was in the kitchen, but the front door of the house was open. Our first theory is pretty close to home. Barry's father, Henry Allen, has always been a central figure in Barry's life. However, on this plot twist, what if it's suggested that he might be more involved than we thought? It's true that Henry has always shown love and support for his son. But what if the film is planting the seed for a darker, more twisted revelation? Could it be that in this version of the Flash story, Henry has a more sinister role in Nora's death? While it's a creepy idea, it's important to remember that the Flash comics sometimes explore dark and twisted nooks and crannies of the multiverse. This could be a reflection of that spirit and could set the stage for deeper, more emotional conflicts for Barry in the upcoming films. This could be a pretty big reveal in the second movie. For some reason, Barry's father is hiding a serious secret, and Nora discovered it at the time. Though of course, most likely the person responsible for ending Nora's life is someone else. The second theory points to a villain more familiar to Flash fans, Eobard Thawne, also known as Reverse Flash. In the Flash comic book stories, it is Thawne who travels back in time and murders Nora. This revelation was a major turning point in Barry's life and catalyzed many of the subsequent conflicts between the Flash and the Reverse Flash. This yellow speedster is one of the main characters in the movie Flashpoint Paradox, the same movie that inspired The Flash. But in the movie, this character did not appear. This could lead us to think that they are saving this information for an upcoming movie. Eobard Thawne, also known as Reverse Flash. A character of immense complexity and a tense dynamic with our hero Barry Allen. But who is really Eobard Thawne, and how did he come to be the Reverse Flash? A big question mark about Eobard is his obsession with the Flash. In the comics, he starts out as a Flash superfan in the 25th century, studying Flash's every heroic act and aspiring to be like him. But his admiration soon turned into a deep and lethal resentment. Eobard Thawne is not your typical villain. Born in the far future, Thawne had all the time in the world to become obsessed with Flash. His adoration went from admiration, to envy, to obsession, and finally to hatred. This gradual but profound change in his mindset highlights the power of time and its impact on an individual's psychology. Imagine for a moment that you are Eobard, living in the 25th century where Flash is a legend. You study every detail of his life, and in a moment, you discover that you will become his worst enemy. The shock of this revelation is too much to handle, and you begin to question yourself and your hero. This dark introspection is an essential feature of Eobard, and it's one of the things that makes him so fascinating. And then there's the whole time travel thing. Just like Reverse Flash, Eobard has the power to travel through time and alter the timeline. But despite his multiple attempts to destroy Flash, he always seems to fail. This is where the paradox of predestination comes into play. No matter what he does, Eobard is destined to become Reverse Flash, Flash's nemesis. This fatalism highlights the true torment of being Eobard Thawne. Then he must go into the past and take down Nora Allen, as Reverse has always been the villain, and for Reverse to exist, Nora has to die. This could be an effective way to build suspense and ensure that fans eagerly await the next installment. It's also interesting that in this theory, Barry and Thawne are essentially doing the same thing, albeit for very different reasons. They are both trying to change the past. This creates an interesting parallel between hero and villain and could serve as a reflection on how our intentions can shape our actions, for better or worse. Nora's killer could be a character we don't know yet, someone who will be introduced in the upcoming films, or it could be an established character whose role in Nora's murder would add a new layer of complexity to the character. For example, what if it was another speedster? We know that the Flash universe is replenished with them. Characters like Zoom, or even Godspeed, could have had reasons to travel back in time and alter Barry's life so drastically. Also, we cannot forget that Barry, by changing the timeline to save his mother, opened the door to endless possibilities of parallel universes and alternate timelines. The person responsible could be from one of these parallel universes, or even from a future timeline. Furthermore, what if the culprit was not an individual but an organization? In the comics, Flash has had to deal with organizations like the Rogues, or even the Time Masters from Legends of Tomorrow. What if these groups decided to interfere with Barry's life for reasons unknown to us? This is something to keep in mind about Flash stories, which is that they never happen in a linear fashion. We could be seeing in this movie the consequences of something that will happen in the future. It could even be Barry himself who ended Nora's life, for in the future, he provokes a second Flash paradox. Finally, we can't rule out the possibility that the answer is more complicated than we think. What if Nora's killer is not a single person, but a series of events caused by multiple characters along the timeline? These are just a few theories and speculations based on what we know so far. The real answer may even be more surprising and exciting. To wrap things up, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Who do you think is Nora Allen's killer? Do you agree with any of our theories, or do you have a better one? Feel free to leave your comments below. And finally, if you like this analysis and theory about the latest Flash movie, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because we will be uploading more videos about this movie. You are on the Oasis Geek.